Yeah. So okay. So today we're going to talk about how to get a job in the UK. I know you have been here in the UK for some time. Yeah. So please, I would like you to introduce yourself and then
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so my name is Nameka Ugu. I'm a senior radiographer and I specialize in MRI, and I do a bit of CT as well. I work with a private organization here in the UK, and I've been in the UK for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's just me. I'm from Nigeria,
Okay.
and I live in the UK. So
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. It's all right. So how can one get a job in UK? How can someone get a job in UK? Some people have been trying for a long time to get a job, and some of them are not able to get anyone. So how can someone get a job in UK very fast?
Well, that's really a good question, and I get that question all the time. And it's very important to note and to let people know that the UK is a very competitive country. It is very competitive out here. And the reason is not far-fetched. The system allows for a robust plan, a robust system where you just need to know what you're doing. You need to, be up and doing for you to fit into the system. So for one to get into the system, you basically have to prove your worth, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And there are qualities that the hospitals or whoever the employers are looking for. And I used to tell people, see, I think these guys have made it very simple for everyone and very fair as well for everyone who wants to come in. They provide you what they call the person specifications, and they provide you the job descriptions. So what it means is they're providing you these details to say, this is what we're looking for. This is the kind of qualities or values we are looking for. So anyone who wants to apply for such jobs or such opportunities would have to read thoroughly what they're looking for and match what they're looking for with his or her own values as well. And so it will make up what you call your personal supporting information.
Okay.
And it's not rocket science. If you have written your supporting information in such a way that it meets the values and the standards they're looking for in a particular role, then I don't see any reason why you wouldn't get any shortlists, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I'll give you an instance. You cannot be a sonographer and you come out around a job that has clearly written CT MRI, and you've not done CT MRI in ages, and then you're going to apply for such a job. Even if you do, you won't be able to fit into the specifications needed. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. The same goes for someone else looking for a sonography job. I mean, I understand that, back home in Nigeria, in Zimbabwe, wherever you are or watching from, you could be doing a lot of modalities, which is absolutely fantastic. But you must have that your niche where you have pitched your tent and say, well, I have strong background in this modality. This is where I have my competence, right? So these are the things that you're supposed to be looking at, having an inward conviction to say, I am 100%, or well, I am very confident I can, do MRI more than CT, or can do CT more than MRI, or can do sonography better. Then you apply for such opportunities. The second thing I want to say is, even this morning, someone has sent me a message to say, oh, please, can I have a look at your supporting information? I would like to apply for a job. And I said to him, actually, it's not the right thing to do. My supporting information is like my very private and very personal document. It shouldn't be going out there. I understand the importance of wanting to have a template, but you can get a template online. You can go online and search for template of how to write personal supporting information. And when you give out your supporting information to someone who clearly is lazy or doesn't want to do any work for himself or herself, what you tend to see is that they copy your supporting information verbatim and supply to the employers, and it doesn't make sense. I would always encourage younger radiographers or people who want to, relocate or get a job in the NHS or the private organizations to, first of all, have those values that are needed in a particular role, write them out and make your own supporting information based on the information that they've provided. When you do that, you can send it to someone to cross-read or, double check and see, is this actually okay? I'm applying for this job. That's fine. If you send it to me, I can read and I'll correct for you. I'll tell you what things that you've not done right. Because then you are being authentic, you're being original. No one else knows or has your supporting information.
Yeah.
And when you've gotten this right, there's no way, absolutely, that you're not going to get, an opportunity. But you see what happens is people have fantastic, supporting information out there, but then they are not original. I read one. You can't tell me you are just 1 year post NYSC or 1 year post BSc, and you already have extensive background and experience in nuclear medicine. Hello.
Yeah.
I saw one, and this gentleman clearly said, have very vast experience, very vast background in nuclear medicine. And I'm thinking, hang on, how many of them do we even have in Nigeria? And I'm thinking, how many years have you spent outside the four walls of the university to have this vast experience? You just finished your BSc last year. You're saying you have vast experience. So these are things that we need to get right.
Yes.
The NIRAD, which is the Nigerian radiographers in diaspora.
Yes.
They have a platform where these things are being addressed. So I believe Nigerians who are already in the UK or who Nigerians who even trained in the UK, they can make good use of this platform as well. But that's a different topic altogether.
Okay, so I think based on my own experience, you have to get a good CV. Yeah, CV is also very important. Yes, and also apply. Yes, and I think you have to apply in all platforms. You have to apply in all platforms.
The thing is about platforms, so it's also what you can't do this for someone. You can't baby feed or spoon feed someone, right?
Yes.
When you seek information, you get to understand a lot. So when you're looking for a job, you don't limit your options. You don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes.
So there's NHS website there for you to apply, and you're supposed to be logging into that, having an account with them.
Yes.
There's also, if you're not interested in going to the private to NHS, there are other private organizations that you can actually, register with.
Yes.
And worst case scenario, you can register with agencies who provide job opportunities. So there are a lot of them out there. You can send them your CV and they scout jobs for you and then send you an email to say, oh, we found this, it matches your CV and then we think you should apply. So in as much as one is really, really, really fighting and struggling and, all of those things, I believe there is also a result in having vast applications out there. So you want to explore other websites. There is Indeed, there is LinkedIn.
Yes.
This is where I'm forced to say that I don't understand a professional who is looking for a job, an international job, and you're not on LinkedIn, but you're on Facebook.
That platform is very important because a lot of people working in UK, they're in LinkedIn, and if you can update your profile, you can get an offer very easy.
Absolutely. So you
Yes.
can't tell me you're on Facebook without telling me you're on LinkedIn, but you're looking for a job. Hello. So it's a professional website where you meet other professionals, not just within your background, not only within your country. You meet other people in other countries. I mean, a lot of my connections in my career, in my profession, has been
Yes,
people
it's
from
true.
other places, and I met them on LinkedIn. So I would really implore whoever is searching to make use of LinkedIn as well. Then there is the agencies, you know, I heard about some of them that recruit, well, they recruited a lot of people from Nigeria. Some went to Dubai, you know, to recruit as well. So you can search for them online and you'll see a lot of them. So yeah, just like you said, making use of other platforms is very important.
Yes.
I think the question was how to get jobs quicker, right? And not
Yes.
why they're not getting the jobs.
Yeah, some people used to ask, use of the platform, can I apply? Just like people coming from Nigeria and other African country, because some of them they think some don't offer African, some of those platforms don't offer African jobs. So some of them used to ask me, use of the platform, should I apply? Use of the link. Can you send me a link that will possibly make me to get an offer in UK, stuff like that. So
Well, I'm not sure what they mean. They're not offering Africans job. I'm an African and I've gotten a job in the UK, so I don't understand what they mean by that. But in as much as, you know, people have their different experiences, right? I also don't want to generalize that opinion. However, if you do the right thing, just like I said, you will definitely land yourself a job, just like you did. It's not rocket science, you see.
yes, yes.
People get jobs every day if you're doing the right thing. The problem or the argument might be, oh, are these people able to provide sponsorship, which is another thing. So you can't go to a company or a private organization who don't have capacity to provide sponsorship. Mind you, not all the employers can sponsor people
Yes,
on tier
true.
2 visas.
Yes.
Or even the healthcare. I think the new one is healthcare visa. What's the name?
I can't remember.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, we call it tier 2 visa. Mine is tier 2 visa. So not all the companies can really, not all healthcare providers can sponsor because they need to meet a certain requirement with the government before they are able to provide that sponsorship. So even if they are looking for radiographers or opportunities, if you apply from international, they might tell you, oh, sorry, we can't employ international. So you don't have to feel offended. It's just the fact that they can't apply because they are limited, you know, within the laws. They're bound by law not to recruit international because they don't have the capacity.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between private jobs and the NSH job and also the agency job? What's the difference between them? The disadvantage also, the benefits of working in the private sector. What do you think?
Yeah. So the it's a bit I think the opinion I will give is a personal opinion. I've never worked in the NHS, and I don't know what NHS looks like in terms of working for them. But I work for a private organization that partners with the NHS. So invariably, we are part of NHS. And working for the private or the NHS is entirely up to you as an individual. It's entirely up to you what you want to achieve as a person. People do, you know, go for it for different reasons. You decide to go for NHS or decide to go for private based on your own reasons. I'll just give a generalized difference. In the NHS, you're able to, you know, as a radiographer, talking particularly for radiographers now, not for nurses. I don't know about other people, but for radiographers, if you're in the NHS, you probably would be exposed to a vast number of cases, complex cases. You know, you'll be attending to children, you'll be attending to A&E. Of course, it's a hospital. It's a very, very complex system. So where you attend to a variety of patients, you're going to be doing a lot of complex studies and different things that you've not seen before. Depending on the private organization, some might have such system where they have a static unit where they do all of these complex things as well. But a lot of private providers, you know, they might just have their mobile facilities where you just do not the very complex scans. So if you are a radiographer who wants to sort of gain experience or learn, you know, certain complex studies, you might be better off going to the NHS for maybe the first year or two.
Okay.
To learn very, very complex things before you go into the private one. But like I said, some private organizations also have the capacity to provide all of these complex studies as well. Because then if you're employed in a hospital, a private hospital that has all of these facilities, then I don't see any reason why the radiographers wouldn't be doing these complex things. Secondly, is the flexibility that the private organization offers. There tends to be more flexibility in terms of your shifts and time in the private organization more than the NHS. In the NHS, you probably would have known or seen that, you know, some hospitals you have to work from Monday to Friday, and then some weekends as well, and also night shifts included. So depending on the hospital, you might do 12 hours on a 3-day pattern, or you might do, I think it's 8 to 5 or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is obtainable in NHS. It's also obtainable in some private organizations where they do the static unit, but most private organizations that do mobiles, they do long hours. They do 12 hours over 3-day periods. And that would give you that sort of flexibility. The other days of the week, you decide what you want to do with it. You can take up extra studies. You can, you know, have time for your family. You can basically do anything what you want to do with the remaining 4 days. So you are sort of in control of your time more, or you even have more time. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
And someone who doesn't have that sort of shift arrangement. It's also important to note that you know, being in the private organization does not also equate to being in the mobile unit, right? So in as much as I'm mentioning mobile private, please, I don't want you to think that private is automatically a mobile role. It's different, even though private organizations provide mobile roles. Not all privates have mobile facilities. So back to being in private. You might be in private and see yourself in the mobile unit. So if you live in an address that is really far from your location of work, you might get to see that sometimes you might not be able to get back home after a particular shift. Your organization should be able to make arrangements for hotel for you to sleep over and get back to your house the next day or something. So you get to see situations where married people are not able to, you know, get back to their families or, you know, see their spouses or be with their family, basically, just because they have traveled for a shift. However, in NHS, you probably would be going home every day after work. You know, yeah. So if there's any reason you're not going to be at home, it's probably you're doing night shifts or something like that. Not not a lot of private organizations do night shifts. In my organization, we don't work night. So I don't know what night shifts look like.
Yes.
Exactly. So in the NHS, you have to do nights.
Yes.
I think in some places, I don't know if it's all of them. Talking about the packages, because a lot of people want to hear it. What's a package like? The packages are, I think, in the private, it's very dependent on the individual who is being employed, because in as much as the private organization will want to also limit their employers to the minimum wage that has been set by the government, right? They would also not pay you a certain salary or a certain amount of money just because, for instance, in NHS, if you're band 6, we know that, this is what band 6, and everybody across the country, apart from London, ends that same salary as band 6. And then you have the grades like that. But in the private organization, it's based on your experience. So everybody does not earn the same amount of money, even though you might be a senior radiographer and the next person is also a senior radiographer, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So it's dependent on your experience. It's also dependent on your negotiating power.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the difference when it comes to remuneration. Then you talk about the pension. It's also the same. Pension is the same everywhere. It should be the same everywhere. And if there is any enhancement whatsoever, I think it's also private dependent. It's dependent on your employer. So yeah, that's just basically the difference. In NHS, I get to hear a lot of times that people are paid a certain, so band 6 ends basically the same thing, like I said, yeah. And after a certain time, there's an increment. So that happens as well in the private, but then the percentage of increment might differ. So you might tend to earn more money being in private than being in the NHS.
Okay.
But this is just my opinion.
Okay, so based on my own experience, 90% of job application normally result being rejected. Why? Because I got rejected so many times when I applied for my job in UK before I came in. Why so many job rejections?
So when I started the conversation earlier, I mentioned about the competitive nature of the country. Remember, while you're applying for this job, there are some other people applying from elsewhere.
Yes.
There are other people applying from within. So if I were to be an employer, I would want to consider people within, coming from an economical point of view. I don't want to start thinking about how much I'm going to spend to get somebody from international when I have the same value or the same, qualities I'm looking for within. So if you are even very well experienced and you've sent me an email or you've sent me your application, I'll look at them and say, oh, okay, it's coming from Nigeria. Okay, but we've got someone here who has the same experience or even better. Then I'm going to offer the person here.
Okay.
Obviously, because you see, I wouldn't have to spend so much money wanting to do your visa and, all of those things. When I have someone really within, I don't have to do all of that for. So if you've gotten an unsuccessful email, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
It only means that there are other people who have better chances
than you,
either by their experience or their proximity.
Okay. So what will you advise someone that, what would be your final advice for someone that is trying to apply for jobs in UK?
For anyone applying for a job in the UK, my advice would be for you to calm down, go get experience, make sure you get loads and loads of experience. If you are finishing from the uni and you've just basically done your, you've just graduated and you've not done your NYSC, I would advise you to, think about what you want to achieve personally, pursue your dreams in that direction. I'll give you an example of what I'm trying to say. When I finished, well, before I graduated though, I had always known my interest was in MRI. And I had to start scouting for hospitals that had MRI facilities. There was none within my reach because I finished from Enugu campus. I had to travel to Lagos. And there I joined an organization that had MRI, and I did my internship. I also did my NYSC, and I did another 1 year postgraduate, whatever, in Nigeria. And these were all in MRI. Because I said I was always interested in MRI, I had to pursue MRI PGD. So I did my PGD MRI with the RRBN. Was I really, really, really keen about traveling at the time? Yes, I wanted it by all means. But then I was not ready. I'm not talking about readiness in terms of finance to travel, but in terms of preparing myself, getting all of these qualifications, getting all the certifications, getting all the knowledge and experience that I needed. Because then, if you don't have a solid background in your chosen modality, then how are you able to prove your competence in the international platform? So this was what I did, and it gave me this sort of foundation that I had. Whatever I'm doing now is building upon that foundation. So I would advise anyone that is seeking for a job in the UK, first of all, is to relax and plan accordingly. Make sure that you have taken your time to get your solid foundation sorted. If you're in MRI, pursue your MRI career, get the PGD, and if you're in CT, make sure you're doing your CT, make sure you're working in a place that has a CT scanner, make sure that you are asking questions and reading and trying to follow all of those trends, join seminars online, get your cannulation course if necessary, or learn how to cannulate in-house. If you're doing X-ray, do it diligently. Try to learn the techniques, understand what you're doing. If you're doing ultrasound, be the best at what you do. So don't rush to apply for a job when you haven't gained competence. And when you are ready, please ask questions before you apply. Do not write a supporting information that is substandard. Make sure you understand why you're writing what and what you're writing. Do not use a supporting information that you've applied for St. James and you're still using the same information to apply for a job in St. Thomas. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
Because then there are two different hospitals. They want
Yes.
separate. They want separate values. They
different job descriptions.
Exactly. You need to understand what suits you. I understand it can be very frustrating, but then this is just how you do it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. So happy to hear from you today. So
same here. Well done, Wisdom. I really appreciate what you're doing. It goes a long way to to talk about how kind-hearted you are, and then for the people back home or wherever you're watching from, it's really important that you connect to this kind of great men. Talking about Wisdom now, who has just moved over and is doing all of this to help reach out to people. No one is paying him, but here he is.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. No worries.
Okay, now thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.